For Talk 99.3 Nigeria Info. Let's talk.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, it's me. Welcome to Danfo Conversations. How are you? Yes, that's how we start, as you know. How are you? How has your week been? Yeah, that petro thing, right? We'll get a chance to complain about it later. I actually have a theory, but you might call me a conspiracy theorist. But, this is Danfo Conversation, the only show where you go jiggy, jaga, jiggy, jaga, jiggy, jaga, 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 jiggy, right? Because we're unafraid. We're unafraid to go to places where other people or the shows do not go to. We're unafraid to go to places where other guests do not go to. Heck, we're unafraid to go to places where our governments do not go to. But more importantly, what we do best on this show is what? Education. Yes, you know how we love to learn. We've done lots of learning. We've talked about leadership and the key qualities of leaders. We talk about Lagos. We talk about government. We talk about how, what our government is like, etc., and how we need to learn to pick leaders. But here's the thing. You know what we haven't talked about? OSDG. No, let me say it again. No, let me give you the SDG. I bet you can't guess what the SDG stands for. And if you do, I have no money to give you. Kemi's the one that gives away money, and she's not coming to interrupt me today. She says she's already given away all the money that she's given. So the telephone number you're going to be calling if you're male is 0201-277-0993. If you're a female, Koboko, don't cheat. If you're a female, 0201-465-7190. WhatsApp. Yes, you will need to send me a WhatsApp because this is going to be interesting. 0809-597-5805. We have an interesting 30-40 minutes, perhaps even an hour if they feel like it. I have with me guests in the studio, so you've all got to behave yourself. All of you. All my listeners, you done for conversationers. If you don't behave yourself, we're going to fall out. Right? You've all got to behave yourself. Okay? She is not here to represent federal government. I need you to calm down. She is not here, and I haven't even told you who my guest is. She's not here as APZ. No, she's not here to discuss the elections. So you all need to calm all the way down. Are we clear? You calm down, you listen, you call, because this is about education. This is about learning. This is about knowing what Lagos State is doing that should be benefiting you and how you can learn and benefit from it. So I have with me Dr. Orioluwafini, who is the Special Advisor on Sustainable Development Goals for Lagos State. That's why I said SDG. Hello, Doctor.
And thank you for having me.
Oh, it's our pleasure. Don't be afraid. We're crazy on this show. Somebody already answered. Office of Sustainable Development Goals. All these cheeky people. I said you all need to calm down. It's a crazy show, but what we do most and what we enjoy doing the most is learning. And that's really why Danfo Conversations was created, because as you can imagine, Danfo is very Lagos.
Yes.
And a lot of conversations go on Danfo, where some are learning, some are arguing, some are discussing, etc., etc. And that's what this is all about. So welcome.
Thank you.
So OSDG, tell us, what is that?
Okay, so it's Office of Sustainable Development Goals.
And what do you do?
We do a lot. First, let me go back. Let me cycle back to what the Sustainable Development
She's
Goals
going jiggy jaga, jiggy jaga, jiggy jaga, all the way back, people. Listen.
So that people can understand why it's important for the office to exist in the first place. Generally, the world has always had a cohesive policies. We have policies about where development should come from, what the areas are generally where there needs to be acceleration of development. And in 2008, the UN decided that they wanted the Millennium Development Goals.
The MDGs.
MDGs. But that was purely poverty policies and goals and all sorts of things around poverty. But then 7 years later, in 2015, they decided that there needed to be a more comprehensive approach to development. It wasn't just poverty that ailed the world. They needed to talk about gender. They needed to talk about education. They talk about cities. And of course, the environment was becoming a hotter issue. And so many things. Then the SDGs were born.
Right.
But then, whenever you have something like that, you also need to measure and you need to give a time limit. It's not an indefinite thing. The SDGs were born in 2015, and then the deadline for attaining them, because they were not just ideas, they were ideas that were also giving targets, they were ideas that were also giving different measures that you have to attain before 2030. So by 2030, we should have attained them. There's 17 of them. We're now in the decade of action, as it is called, meaning whatever you were doing before, you have to do it even more quickly now and make sure that
there's more of an urgency.
By 2030, you have attained, if not all, but most of the goals, which is why Lagos State, of course, being at the forefront of development and making things right, decided that it needed an office, number one, to measure how it was doing across the 17 goals. And the 17 goals, it's not 17 ministries or 17 offices, they are goals. Each goal may cut across 2 or 3 different ministries.
Right.
So you have to really sit down and understand where the data will come from to let you know whether you are online for some of those goals.
Okay.
So first, as is monitoring and evaluation as officers of the goals. The second thing is that we are occasionally to intervene when we see that there are projects or places or situations where we need a quick fix. Go in there, find out the greatest, quick, and then intervene. Right now we have our Lighthouse project.
Okay.
Which
What
is one
is
of the
that?
things. So the Lighthouse project is community-based. In Lagos State, we have hard-to-reach areas. If people often forget that Lagos is an island, and off this big island, we have smaller islands. Some quickly you can reach there in 30 minutes, 20 minutes. Some are far away as 90 minutes, and there are people there.
Yeah.
And we need to take development everywhere. In fact, 10% of Lagos lives in riverine and hard-to-reach areas. Hard-to-reach areas defined often by terrain. It's difficult to get there. That's another thing that we do. And of course, partnerships. For us, that's SDG 17, meaning Lagos has a lot of projects. We need to partner with people. The government cannot do it all. In making sure that everybody is aligned for 2030, we also get people, especially social projects that have to do with the greater good, and then get people to come and help and execute some of those projects. So those are some of the things that we do at our office and why we came to be in the first place.
Okay. So much information to start off with, but what I like is the way you talked about partnering, right? Partnering with groups. What sort of groups would you be partnering with? Because I'm sure there are many listening now thinking, well, I'm part of a group, or I work in a group, or I would like to volunteer for that. What sort of groups would you partner with when you say those, feel like who are good, right? Or would fit your vision, right? So let's take the Lighthouse project, for instance.
So for us, partnerships is delivering on SDGs is collective. Everybody will be involved. At the Lighthouse level, it's usually at the local government level. First, in terms of going into community. So it will be your World Health Committees, your CDAs, Community Development Associations, your CDCs, and the local government.
Right.
Let's not forget that the state government and the local government are we work different well in synergy, but they're different. So we work with the local government. Now, in then bringing the interventions, we like everybody. So our NGOs, our CSOs, corporate organizations, developmental partners, even the federal government as well, because the federal government does carry out the interventions in Lagos as well. So everybody, and also other countries. So we have countries that directly intervene and partner with us.
Okay,
So,
that's interesting.
Yes.
So one of the goals that you also have, one of the things you do is strategic planning and integration.
Yes.
What is that?
Okay. So decisions are data based. It means that when you review the data for across the 17 SDGs, like I said, one SDG can cover 3 or 4 ministries, and you see that there are areas where we're looking slower in our targets. Our interventions will be data based.
Right.
It means if I, for an example, a wild example, as the Ministry of Education have said, okay, this year I'm going to build 15 schools, and I go and look around and see where is the highest population of out of school children. I'm not going to build schools across Lagos and say, because I have 15 schools, I'll put them 333 across maybe senatorial. No, my intervention will be targeted. This local government or these 4 local governments have an issue with out of school children, then schools intervention should be pushed in that direction, of course with a lot of community engagement as well, because it's one thing for you to build the school, is another thing for the children to come to school.
Of course.
So move to community, let the community know why it's important for them to come to school, and how you have nice new schools now that the children can attend. So that's how we do strategic.
I'm glad education is an example that you use. So like you said, we do have lots of areas where we have, even though people look at Lagos and they think it's so developed, we're so cool, we're so everything, like you said, they forget that there are what I call the hinterlands of Lagos, the crevices that your feet can't get to really, and they don't even get to know you.
Yeah.
So we have to stop thinking of Lagos as the sort of urban development areas, because it's wider than that. I'm glad you mentioned education. So you go into, say for instance, you go into a community, you've realized or you've identified the fact that based on the data, first and foremost, one of the questions we often get on this show when we talk about these things is data. How are you sure that everybody that needs to be on that database is on that database? Do you understand?
I understand.
How?
Okay.
Because I get people from, I'm sure they'll start calling once I open the line. I'm from Ikorodu, I'm from Kiniko, I'm from Mushi. Nobody has collected my data. Oh.
No. So there are many ways that the government collects data. And one of the key ways is the Lagos State registration, the card. We have an agency, LASRA, that collects. If you are resident in Lagos, you should be registered by LASRA. If you haven't done so, please go and do so right now.
And if you don't do it, it's tough. You don't get what's coming to you. It's
Absolutely.
that you can't call this show and complain.
Go and register so that Lagos has a good view of who is where. How many people have come in and now living in different communities everywhere, all over Lagos. That's one way. From time to time, surveys are conducted for different things. It could be healthcare, it could be education that we're talking about, it could be economic planning and budgeting. We conduct surveys to make sure that data is up to date. Sometimes it's geographic. Want to know, okay, Lagos has highly migrant population. People, mobile people, one day they're here. The next time you go there, they're no longer there. Where are they? We want to know where they are and why did they leave where they were, so that we can plan. If people are going to move en masse from Mushin to Etiosa, Etiosa needs to be ready. Know that, okay, the people have left Mushin, they're now with you. And so we collect data across different points, and verify as well.
Okay. If you've got questions, you can call. I've told you people, if you're calling to complain about anything, the election, the petrol, I will cut you off. It is that simple. We are discussing SDGs. SDGs, that is how government can change our lives within this wonderful city that we live in. What you should expect from SDGs and how SDG will impact your life. That is what we are talking about. Okay, so you can call. Let's talk about resource mobilization. One of the things that you also write here is that, you build partnerships to secure funding for SDG projects. How? So let's say myself and Koboko, we have an SDG project. Can we? I use Koboko because he's one of our regular callers. And no doubt he's going to call at some point and say, Okay, yeah. So, is it something that, one could get together as a group and say, right, we've got this idea for our community. We believe it aligns with your SDG goals, your 70 SDG goals. We point at it and say, right, this is what we're doing. This is where it's aligned. Could we apply for fund? Is that kind of thing, or is it a different kind of fund?
So there are two parts of it. The first thing is that, yes, to answer your question, that if you have a good group and they have a project that tests, that passes all the tests, because, of course, we have a checklist that guides. The truth is that government cannot be everywhere and government cannot do everything. We can support. However, as SDG as well, we also need support.
Right.
Of course. We also need support to intervene in some of the places that we do need to intervene. So yes.
Yeah, keep going.
Yeah, so we also partner, like I had also said, we also partner with various organizations to try and get support for some of our projects, and we do support SDG projects.
Yeah.
Once they've passed through the various there's a checklist.
Okay. All right. Now, the other thing is advocacy and awareness.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
I'm going to ask you to hold on to
Okay.
that. We'll be right back after this break.
Fantastic.
This is Danfo Conversations with Ireti Bakare.
If a leader is not informed, it's bound to be deformed.
So many organizations don't even have a workplace sexual harassment procedure or reporting channel. So if there's no place to even report, how do I even report these issues?
AstraZeneca and
More conversation, more talk, more right after this.
Ladies and gentlemen, introducing the party you've been waiting for. The Life's a Beach Party. A beach party like you've never experienced. Featuring amazing music performances by King Maddie.
Hey guys, what's poppin'? My name is King Maddie.
Travel around the world, I know guys.
Magix.
Hey guys, it's your boy Magix.
Tapes. Also featuring top Nigerian creators, including Amma, Miss Dams. Come experience Beach Olympics, fashion competitions, and water sports. Your host is Tacha.
Your girl Tacha is right here.
Life's a Beach Party will take place September 21, 2024. Time is 5 p.m. Voda Beach Club, Legoshi, Lekki, Lagos. Register for free at www.teasersparty.com. Life's a Beach, proudly brought to you by Teaser Sparkling Drink. 18 plus, drink responsibly. Life's a Beach, live it up.
Who says you can't have it all with one play?
I got that defined, but you have just won yourself. Hello, good morning.
Yes, Meltus. One player, don't talk to two players because you won 20K.
So now you won yourself 20,000 naira.
My name is Well Done.
Okay, well done. We want to tell you, well done. You won yourself 20,000 naira.
With 500 naira, you can play to win big. From 120,000 naira to 190,000 naira daily on Nigeria Info. Go to oneplay.ng and play with 500 naira. And in a few seconds, your ticket is in the draw. Or dial *347 *880 *3 hash. Win daily on Nigeria Info. 50,000 naira on Morning Crossfire. 60,000 naira on WhatsApp Lagos. 20,000 naira on Sunnyside. And 60,000 naira on Game On. So Lagos, what are you waiting for? The more you play, the better your chances of winning. Remember to dial *347 *880 *3 hash. Play responsibly. Not suitable for persons under the age of 18.
My darling, are you ready to go back to school?
Yes, Mommy. I have everything I need. All that's missing is my favorite food to drink, Capri Sun.
Oh, what? No Capri Sun. We have to fix that right away.
Yay! And Mommy, every carton of Capri Sun now comes with a wristband ruler for school.
A wristband ruler?
Get a wristband ruler in every carton of Capri Sun as you go back to school. Terms and conditions apply.
Capri Sun. The taste of fun.
Welcome back to your number one talk, news, and sports station. This is Nigeria Info.
And welcome back to Danfo Conversations. We are talking SDGs, Sustainable Development Goals. right? We're talking about how it impacts you, how you need to, what you need to know about, what you need to expect. And I have with me the person in charge, the one responsible, the one that carries it all on her head, the one that's co-driving on this Danfo today. Okay, Dr. Finney, just before we went on break, I asked about advocacy and awareness.
Yes.
Tell us about that.
Okay, so part of the responsibility of the Office of Sustainable Development Goals is to ensure that people are aware of all the state projects on SDGs. And that means going from community to community, letting people know that this is what the government is doing. Now, we don't just, it's not, that is not just what we do. When we are engaging with communities, part of it, trying to find out, troubleshoot, finding out what are the issues, and then letting them know that, okay, a lot of times they're not issues of money, maybe throwing money at the community. It's lack of information. It's lack of information that we then are able to enlighten people and say, okay, if this is the problem, then if you go to this agency, or if we create linkages. We help to create linkages. Occasionally, it may be something like a structure. It may be something that requires funding, but a lot of times it's lack of information. And the other thing we're doing, because when we go into a lot of those communities, there are a lot of women, and we've partnered with 2 financial institutions,
Fabulous.
OPE and Carrywise,
Whoa.
to encourage financial inclusion and financial literacy, to improve the financial literacy for women. You have a business, you are not really sure what it costs, you are not really sure how much you should price it, you are not sure how much of the profit is there is
how
in
much
your
is
margin.
cost, how much is your profit.
So you have banking. You'll be surprised as well. Yes, everybody assumes, like you rightly said, that Lagos is all urban and cosmopolitan. Not necessarily. And if 10% of 24 million people need an accelerated sustainability plan, then it's important for us to pay attention to them as well. So you go there, and then you also provide banking services, because we've also found that sometimes the women need to be paid for some of their services or their products, and they've given a third-party account. And the money and all sorts of things now happen to those funds. Story. To those funds. Now, the other thing is that research shows, now we've gone to gender as SDG.
Please do.
Research shows that when women have good finances, the family is impacted 100% with the funds that come from that business. Whether it's a microfinance, loaning to women, the outcomes are better, and the outcomes are felt within the family, whether it's their health outcomes, everything. Once the woman in the family is able to have some financial strength, the indices for the family go up exponentially. The children are more likely to stay in school for longer and all that. So for us, when we go to these communities, those are the kinds of things that we look out for. If the women there have businesses that they're doing, let's help them to make the business thrive, even better than it's doing right now.
So OPE and Carrywise.
Yes.
Right. How could my listeners access that? How would they be able to access that? So is it that they have to wait for the companies to come into their community, or can they apply, or what? Because I know there are the Mrs. Obolis and the market women who are listening, and they'll be thinking, Sisi, ask that question.
So this particular drive is targeted towards hard to reach areas. So it's either you live in a river.
Ikorodu is not hard to reach area. Mrs. Oboli, they said Ikorodu is not hard.
Ikorodu has hard to reach areas. It has some wards that are hard to reach. So that, but then we're coming. So we'll start from the 10%,
right,
and then move towards the 90%.
Okay.
The truth is that so much is already going on within, and Lagos State has a Ministry of Women Affairs and Poverty Alleviation that is constantly training. Constantly skills, we have skills acquisition centers, and at the end, it's not just to train. The state goes a step further and then make sure that you have the equipment to actually start whatever it is you've gone to learn, be it hairdressing, be it making clothes, whatever. And there's so many different ones now. People even making food receive stoves and gas. You know, if it is petty trading, you receive some of the products.
So you'll give gas cookers?
They do.
I might need to apply.
They do. I've seen that.
Wow.
Yes, that's Women Affairs and Poverty Alleviation. We have the Employment Trust
Don't be
Fund.
fooled by my accent. Do not be fooled by this accent. I could do with a gas cooker.
Good. So we also go to the Employment Trust Fund that gets people ready for employment. People finish for university. They need other skills to make them ready for employment. And apart from that, if you have good business ideas, they're willing to also give. You go through their process, and then at the end of the day, if you're successful, you get your stipend to start whatever it is or elevate. Sometimes people have already started, but they need to take it further. They do that as well. There's so many schemes going on in agric. We also have the farmers schemes where young farmers are trained. There's a lot of focus on youth, on women, which is our Themes Plus agenda of Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu, and the plus there, it's gender, it's inclusion for disability and youth and all those other our populations that sometimes may be overlooked.
See, the problem with you, Danfo conversationers, is that I know you, Danfo. If it's to complain now, you'll be complaining. I'm asking you. You can ask Dr. Finney your questions if you've been listening. I'm sure you will have questions to ask her, where you can call 0201277093. Female only line is 020146579190. And if you can't call, you can send a WhatsApp to 0809-597-5805. We are streaming live on YouTube. You can see my sister again. My lipstick is matching my dress this morning, this afternoon. So let's talk about. So I've got a story to tell you because I'm glad you said that. So Lashma.
Yes.
All right. So about, I don't know, it's about 2 months ago or so, I got a call from my mechanic. He's also my out of town driver. So I'm one of those people. For me, I make sure I create a safety around me. What I need to do, I do it without necessarily to make sure that I'm safe.
Yeah.
So because he's the only person that's ever worked on my car since I've lived in this country, he's also the only person that drives me out of town. So you can imagine we have a close relationship. 15 years I've been.
Wow.
So he calls me one day and he said, Ma, my wife just had a baby. First of all, I went ballistic because for me, if you've got more than 2 children, boom, you have no business. You guys know how I feel. You have no business. You should be paying more taxes. If I was Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu, I'm telling you, you would all hate me. If you've got more than 2 kids, you had better be paying more tax than me because I've only got 1 and I don't use up the resources like you do. It's really that simple, and oxygen isn't free. But we're not going to do that right now. Anyway, so he calls me. I love him to be. First of all, I give him a right rollicking because he's had another baby. Like, they say, Ma, is an accident, Biti Bawo. Which accident? Anyway, cut a long story short, he tells me that they're in hospital and they needed money. I said, well, why do you need money? Having babies free in Lagos. He said, no, something, this one, that one. They've asked me. He said, this one so far, this is the bill. He sends me everything. You what? This is right. Having babies is free in Lagos. Am I lying? Right? Babies are free. Labor is free. So anyway, I make some calls and that's how we came across Lashma. And he had a Lashma card, but his wife didn't, so his wife had to register. And it turned out that was part of the problem, was that she didn't have a Lashma card. Well, he's not the one giving birth, so I don't know why he's got the Lashma card and she hasn't, unless men are going to start giving babies. I mean, I did ask him, were you planning to give birth on my behalf? Anyway, so, and eventually, they didn't pay a penny. And I told everybody about this, literally everybody that would listen. And I said to them, in Yoruba, they say, Ajo Juwolo.
Absolutely.
And said, I got a call from somebody who's dear to me, my mechanic, who was asking me for money. In the end, I gave him something that was greater than money. So now, I will not be having any more children. Sheriff, if you are listening to me, you better not be having another child. But in the unfortunate situation that another accident should happen because I'm not in their house. They will not be calling me to ask because now they're all properly registered and everything. And that's part of what you guys do, right?
Absolutely. So for us, we have a Lagos State Health Management Agency. And really what they do is what we'll call social health insurance. And what that also means is that at some part, for some, to great measure, the state is subsidizing some of the health insurance.
Okay.
However, it's such a great tool, such a great opportunity that most Lagosians need to take advantage of it. If you're in the corporate sector and you have health insurance by nature of your job, remember that your staff, if something happens to them, they become your responsibility.
That's true.
And that's it can be expensive.
Okay.
The best thing to do is to get them health insurance.
Okay, you need to go slow now. The merchant man.
Yes.
Rapper Chuku, those of you that I know who have businesses, you need to listen to this now. Tell us, how would an employer be able to help their employee using this?
Good. So you would go to the Lashma offices all over Lagos, and then maybe after this we can give you some of the addresses where they are.
Yeah.
And you go there, you just register. At the last time, I think it was something like maybe 40,000 a year, but I think it has gone up now.
So the company would pay 40,000 a year?
The individual or the company, whoever wants to buy health insurance or whoever has to pay for health. Okay, like you working now.
Right. So let's say I have a business, which I do.
Yes.
Don't people come after my tax? So there's no money. Petrol has gone up. But because that's one of the things I must say that people are afraid of is like, look, if I go to Lagos State as a business owner, to tell them to say, I want to do this for my employee, the first thing they start doing is suddenly they start coming to you about taxes.
No.
So tell me something. If me, as an employer, as a business owner, I want my staff to be on Lashma or this Lagos State Health Insurance. Who would pay? Is it me that would pay or they pay?
It's up
How
to
does
you.
It work?
It's up to you. But I would encourage you to pay for them, or it could be 50-50, or it could be, as long as it's...
So it's how much per person for the year?
So that 40,000 covered a family of 6.
Okay.
It was so cheap. And then also 40,000 could also be a lot of money. You could even pay, they had Sunday a day.
Okay.
Pay small.
Right.
Yes. So you could pay.
So it's 40,000 per employee.
No, per family of 6.
Right. So I don't know who
a
the
man,
family is.
A wife, and 4 children.
Right.
But if you're going to pay individual, if
Yeah.
you are going to pay for one person, that worked out to about 18,000 or something.
Okay.
So so you would work it out per person for a person, but it's usually more cost effective to pay for a family.
Okay. So to explain it further, another love of my life who's a problematic one, but I love her dearly, who's been with me forever, who I deeply about, is my housekeeper, Fermi. Everybody knows about Fermi. I'm always talking about her. She cooks the best jollof rice, right?
Fantastic.
Now, so Fermi is a mother of 1.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
And she's single.
Yes.
So if I was going to do that for her, I would do it as a family
of 2. Yes.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
And it would cost me like 40,000 or 18,000.
So that rate, I think they have reviewed it. The last was 40, but it may have gone up a bit now because, of course, everything has gone up a bit now. And that's the baseline one.
Okay.
Now, Lashma also has different, like most health insurance. If you pay for the baseline, you get basic care. If you pay a little more, you get more care. And there has now tiers, different tiers of health insurance that you can pay for.
Okay.
But the baseline used to be 40,000.
Okay.
I think it's a little bit more now. So we can get the permanent secretary to come and shed a lot more light on.
Yes, I would like them too, definitely. The other health, you do other things in health like mental health?
Yes.
Do you do disability as well?
Not as much.
Okay,
but
mental health. Tell us about mental health.
Mental health came about, for those, and a lot of your listeners are on social media, you could see that the youth were struggling. And maybe social media is even one of the issues why they're struggling.
Of course.
And research now, we're not talking how we feel or what we think. Research showed in the tertiary institutions in Lagos, 60% of the students there showed that they were struggling with some mental health thing or the other. It could be depression, it could be any other thing. And so we said to ourselves, okay, perhaps we should have some kind of corner within those institutions. So now, for State of Lagos has 4, 5, we have the University of Technology, University of Education, the Lagos State University itself, the Lagos State University Teaching Hospital, and the upcoming medical school, Medical University. But then on the federal level, still within Lagos, we have the Teaching Hospital and we have the University of Lagos, we have the ABA. There are many. So wanted to start with the Lagos State tertiary institutions and have a corner somewhere where the students can get support, can get help. I don't know whether the listeners are aware that Lagos Minds does exist under the Ministry of Health.
Lagos Minds,
where you can call in and get support.
What's the number? Does
we'll
anybody
get it.
We'll
get
please,
the number
before the end of the day.
We'll
Let's
get
have the number before the end of this interview.
So Lagos Minds exists, where it's a group of trained
psychologists. Psychiatrists.
They receive calls, and if they see that they cannot go beyond, they need to go beyond what they can handle on the phone, then they go ahead and refer for care.
Oh my word! Look, you all better be writing this down. 0909 000 6463. 0909 000 6463. This is Lagos Mind, MIND, and it's about mental health. And they will pick up your call.
They will.
It's a call center.
It's a call
speak
center.
to a psychotherapist, psychiatrist rather, and they speak to you on the phone. And if they believe that you need more help, they will refer
you.
This is absolutely incredible.
Yes.
Absolutely
so
incredible.
For a lot of times, people feel isolated. It's the isolation.
Sorry to interrupt you. Can we put that on Nigeria Info? Yeah, we'll be putting it on Nigeria Info.
A lot of problems and things that escalate could have been handled when they were simple problems. A lot of times, people want people who they can trust,
of course,
to have a conversation with, and then the problem shrinks from this mighty thing in the room. It becomes something they can then handle with clarity, a clarity that comes from having a conversation with a trained counselor. So the first thing is that we're training peer counselors, people that have been vetted and then can handle those kind of things. And they also know at what point to draw the line, because that's also very important, where you need to refer, so that if you see that somebody is in danger, either self-harm or some of that physical, if the matter involves somebody else that they think that is going to happen, then you can escalate it quickly and then they can get help for the person.
Excellent.
Yes.
Now, a little bird tells me you have a summit coming up.
Yes.
Tell us about that.
Okay. So, as usual for Lagos, it's a first in the country.
Lagos are not their first. Don't mind them. They like to show off. We are the first Danfo conversation. Lagos likes to show off. Go on.
So, it's our first sustainability summit.
Okay.
And the reason why we're having this is multiple-fold. First, like we've done here today, to reintroduce the Office of Sustainable Development Goals to the whole of Lagos, and to let them know what we do, and then have a proper handshake with our private sector, our NGOs, so that we're all in alignment for meeting the 2030 deadline.
Right.
Like we recognize, Lagos has a very vibrant private sector. There's some states where it's mainly civil service driven. For Lagos, it's
like Abuja. Go on. I didn't say that. I just dropped.
For Lagos State, the private sector is vibrant.
Absolutely.
Yes. And so everybody should be in the room. For if you're doing CSR, your ESG program, let's align it now so that it can meet. We are all working towards a common goal. What sustainability means, maybe in terms of poverty alleviation or even gender, while all the targets are the same, what it means in Lagos may not be the same thing as in Cardiff.
Absolutely.
How do we get there? How do we get there in Lagos to meet these targets? And even how we get there is completely different. So let us, as an entire community now, who is now interested in sustainability, let us all align
and create
say,
a path
yes,
together.
if you do your CSR, these are the things that Lagos requires support for. Not some of the things that you think, and this will now be data-led, data-driven. Okay, it could be something like a park, a recreational area, and we're looking more at social interventions. So also our lighthouse project, which is going into these communities, some of the communities require cottage industries, things that they can do there without having an urban drift.
Right.
Rural to urban drift, want to stem that tide. Well, let people live where they live, but still be able to make good money and remain there happily. Their needs are not many. They want enough to survive and sustain themselves.
You said parks, so parks. There aren't enough parks.
Which is why we're calling for partners.
And look, I know BRF is no longer there. You remind me again, not long after we moved here, about 2-3 years or so, my son, who is now a giant, was into skateboarding, and he actually wrote a letter to the governor. BRF, if you're listening, you never responded. You never responded. He wrote a letter and gave a business case. It must have been, I don't know, 8, to the governor saying, look, sir, we need a skateboard park because I can't do skateboard on the road, and it's safer if we do it on the park, and it would be nice if Lagos State gave it to us. Yeah.
So if I can tell him,
I know skateboard is
I don't know whether he's
part of it, but
no, it is.
Oh,
let me surprise you. There is a skateboard park at Osborne.
It's a lie.
Yes.
So
right in front of
did
school.
Listen. He just didn't tell us.
Yes. And Freedom Park as well.
Yes, I know Freedom Park.
Yes. So wherever he is, please go and skateboard.
He's in the UK, and I'm going to tell him.
Baby,
they
all
did listen
the upcoming skateboarders here in Lagos.
Yes, there are. There's
do
a
have
skateboard community.
Yes,
actually.
they do. And it's because the community can exist because they have the facilities to do so. So if we have parks, and as we now come into proper physical planning, we're getting rid of all the informal housing, all those structures under the bridges. We need to put them to good purpose. So we're looking for people to partner with us to do those things. SDG 17.
How long have I got left? Have I still got time to talk, or are we going on break? I have about 2. Okay, it's funny you should say that. So how exactly can members of the public, are they invited to this summit?
Yes, they are. Okay. It's open to all members of the public. Yes, in person and online.
Oh, okay.
Yes, so they go to the website.
Go ahead.
Lagos Sustainability Summit.com and register to attend.
Okay.
Very simple.
Now, I'm the founder. I'm going to use me as an example so that people, because it's when you go there, they'll start calling me. And you people, I will abuse you. You know I will yap you. Because she's here now. Zainab will not be able to speak for you because I will abuse you. She's here now. And none of you are calling, right? Now, let me use me as an example again. I have a foundation, well, as a women's group called Purple Women Foundation.
Okay.
We are all women, all right? From different social brackets, financial, from the poorest, lowest, to the richest, to the this, to the that, from different levels of education, awareness, and exposure. Should we be at this summit? And would we be, so I know that there are lots of other groups like that, would we be the kind of group that you would want to partner with, especially as we're women?
Absolutely.
Okay.
One of the SDGs has to do with gender. And it's the promotion of women's matters, the economic empowerment of women, the economic inclusion of women in all the activities that we do. So we're calling, let me then call out to the women's groups, the NGOs working in the sustainability space, all the corporate organizations that are indeed trying to operate sustainably, that they should please register to attend the summit, which happens next week, Thursday,
what
the
12th.
12th. Okay. Yeah, the 12th of
which venue?
September, Eco Hotel at 10 a.m. at 10 a.m.
Is it invitation only?
No, you
They have
register.
to
You register.
Can they register online?
Yes, you register
before they can get
online
entry?
on the website, and then you get you get an email telling.
We're almost done
confirming
with this conversation. We're almost at 2:00, but I still have. How long have I got? I've got 44 minutes before we go on break. 44 seconds apparently. I've got just 10 minutes. 44 seconds. Here's the thing. Many people are probably listening now and thinking, well, you know, I'm not poor enough, so they don't care about me. Because that's the other thing that happens, right? It always seems like whenever government is doing any of these initiatives, it's often for the poorer people. What about the working class, those who are in that middle level and are making their way through? What kind of initiative do you have for them? Right, you can tell me that in 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Yeah, we'll be right back.
If a leader is not informed, it's bound to be deformed.
So many organizations don't even have a workplace sexual harassment procedure or reporting channel. So if there's no place to even report, how do I even report these issues?
AstraZeneca and Moderna vaccines cannot be mixed.
You cannot say bring that one too.
You cannot say bring that one too. Make I just manage them. No.
99.3 Nigeria Info. Let's
Get breaking news, updates, and the best of talk.
Women have to work twice, even thrice as hard for them to get things that just come so naturally to a lot of men who feel that leadership is their right.
We're in prisons for how many years? For 6 years, 8 months. Were you going to court from prisons then?
Yes, but before I started court, it took me 2 years.
Just being in prison?
Yes.
Without your case even start at all?
Confinement.
You were there?
Yeah.
Here on your number one station for talk, 99.3 Nigeria Info. Let's talk. This isn't a Game of Thrones. It's the game of... More news and information coming up. We'll be back in a moment.
Are you an independent female artist, a producer, a DJ, a songwriter who wants to take a career to the next level? Then Her Sound 2.0 is for you. Enjoy comprehensive training and mentorship, access to support from a community of female music professionals, collaborative opportunities, 2 days free bootcamp, and more. To register for Her Sound 2.0, visit www.hersoundglobal.com to register for free. To complete your application, post a 30-second video on Instagram telling us why you want to be part of Her Sound 2024. And don't forget to use the hashtags. Hashtag Her Sound Peach. Her Sound 2024. It's time to hear her.
Her Sound 2024 is brought to you by Church Sweet Nation and powered by Google. Supported by Boomplay, Cloud Africa, Grunge Cake, Mavico Foods. Media partners, Cool FM, Wazobia FM, Nigeria Info, Pulse NG, and Heap TV.
For more information, visit at Her Sound Global on Instagram.
Hi, I'm Natasha Kimani. I'm a governance and public policy expert and the host of Talk to Me Direct podcast. Talk to Me Direct is produced by Luminate. Luminate is a global foundation working to ensure that everyone, especially those underrepresented, have the information, rights, and power to influence decisions that affect their lives. In the next episode, I speak with a brilliant young person, Polly Washira, who works in a space that brings together rural community groups to organize for issues that matter to them.
Just collaborate. Don't be afraid to go out there. Don't work in silos. Don't go and try to change. The best thing that you can do is find other change makers and collaborate. Don't try to do this thing alone.
Like and subscribe to Talk to Me Direct wherever you get your podcasts.
Ladies and gentlemen, it still is the season of giving. So says oneplay.ng. That is why they want you to dial the code *347 *880 *3 hash. Yes, if you want our money, dial that code. Or you could go to the website at www.oneplay.ng, as in one, the number one, PLAY.ng. Once you get there, select Nigeria Info as your station, and just like that, your ticket will be in the draws. Of course, you have to commit the paltry sum of 500 naira to each ticket. Now, you can play as many times as possible to give yourself a bigger chance of winning. And remember that your chances of winning are pretty much the same whether you play on oneplay.ng or you use the code *347 *880 *3#. Now, remember that at the end of the week, there's going to be a 500,000 naira jackpot. I know it's mind blowing. You can't beat that. You definitely can beat that. So your qualifier for that is dependent on you playing the game during the week. What am I trying to say? I am saying when you dial *347 *880 *3# from your phone or go to the website at oneplay.ng to play the one play game every day, you automatically qualify for the jackpot that comes at the end of the week on Friday. Yes, it's announced on Friday. That said, ladies and gentlemen, play responsibly. Make sure you are playing with only what you can afford. And once you play, make sure you keep your phone very close because that lucky call could be coming in at any time. Yes, at any time. OnePlay is a registered trademark under Lasho Trading Services Limited, licensed by the Lagos State Lotteries and Gaming Commission. Keep playing, keep winning, and keep smiling to the bank.
You are listening to your number one station for talk.
Your number one station for talk.
99.3 Nigeria Info. Let's talk.
Welcome back to Danfo Conversations. Right, we have a minute before, so I'm gonna give you that minute to close up because then I go to the 2:00 news, and hopefully the lines will be working by then. You see, we've had messages coming through. It's crazy. I'm just literally getting good afternoon, great conversation, Sergey, and I'm a benefactor of Lagos State Insurance Health Incentive. However, it has been hijacked with complaints of racketeering in most of the general hospitals. Please place your searchlight at Ajerumi General Hospital from Michael. Great
Good
information.
feedback.
Allow us to save you the stress.
Count on us for your daily dose of information and current affairs.
You ask for it, the conversation, and more on Nigeria Info. It matters to you.
When you marry, you don't cheat.
The most common drug that damages the liver is paracetamol, what we call acetaminophen. People think that paracetamol is just paracetamol. I can take paracetamol. No.
Do you know I've been monitoring elections since 1999? Rigging of elections takes place not at the polling unit, but at the collation center.
99.3 Nigeria Info. Let's talk.
If a leader is not informed, it's bound to be deformed.
So many organizations don't even have a workplace sexual harassment procedure or reporting channel. So if there's no place to even report, how do I even report these issues?
AstraZeneca and Moderna vaccines cannot be mixed.
You cannot say bring that one too.
You cannot say bring that one too. Make I just manage them. No.
99.3 Nigeria Info. Let's talk.
The news update on 99.3 Nigeria Info.
99.3 Nigeria Info. You are listening to the news headlines this hour. Federal government says Nigerians with NIN will benefit from sale of 30,000 metric tons of milled rice, while Archbishop of Sokoto Diocese, Bishop Matthew Kuka, urges President Bola Tinubu to find a way to reduce poverty in the country. Former Director of the Department of State Service tells Nigeria Info that the Minister of State, Bello Matawale, is not doing a good job with the fight against insecurity. Just as the NNPCL says petrol from the Dangote refinery will begin to flood the market from the 15th of September. Oil and gas expert John Obele refutes claims that the NNPCL executives were not involved in the recent hike in petrol prices in the country. Minority Caucus of the House of Representatives condemns recent increase in the price of petrol by the NNPCL. Nigerian Bar Association describes sudden price hike as not only harsh but also unjustified. Ahead of Edo governorship elections, INEC tasks journalists to uphold ethical and professional standards. Federal government predicts 5 days of rainfall in Nigeria, with possible flooding in 21 states and 123 locations nationwide. NEL Fund successfully disburses student loans to 40 additional institutions, bringing the total disbursements to institutions to 59. At least 17 pupils have died after a school in central Kenya caught fire on Thursday night, according to police and the Education Ministry. And ahead of a 2025 AFCON qualifier against Benin Republic, Nigeria's Super Eagles will have a training later tonight at 6 p.m. Those are the headlines. You are listening to Danfo Conversations with Ireti Bakare-Yusuf on 99.3 Nigeria Info. I am Yvonne Ohaifo.
If a leader is not informed, it's bound to be deformed.
So many organizations don't even have a workplace sexual harassment procedure or reporting channel. So if there's no place to even report, how do I even report these issues?
AstraZeneca and Moderna vaccines cannot be mixed.
You cannot say bring that one too.
I cannot say bring that one too. Make I just manage them. No.
99.3 Nigeria Info.
Next.
She was Yvonne. She told you the news headlines. I am here with Dr. Finney, who is the special advisor, right, to the government on SDG. So I'm going to let her close because we do seem to be having problems with our network. The internet is slow. Calls are not coming through. It is what it is. So let me allow you to close. What would you like to leave us with? What key information?
Okay. I think the last statement you made concerned that the middle class feel that government only intervenes for the poor and they have nothing. Well, I would say no. Let us all remember what has happened with mass transit in Lagos.
Okay.
With our blue line. We're testing our red line.
Yes, and you're going to Ibadan.
Green line.
You people are showing off. Get out.
So
much showing off.
Please. The middle class is very much a beneficiary of the Lagos
My
state.
sister she came in from Abuja 3 days ago and last week, and she literally took the train to Ibadan, and she even said to me there are 2 train stations in Ibadan. She was extremely impressed. That was her first time. She was extremely impressed. I said, you see, that's why you live in Abuja. We Lagos, we don't mess. Because you people don't use your train in Abuja. In Lagos, we use our train because it actually goes somewhere. Oops.
So that's for train. And then we go to on the water. Lagos is an island. More people need to get onto the water where we have Omieko with a 40-seater ferry across 15 also upgraded jetties.
Right.
So Lagos is going places. Lagos is doing big things. We're doing it sustainably. We're doing it clean energy. We're doing it for gender. And we just want people to make sure that they're on the 5th and the 12th, which is next week, Thursday. They turn up, they listen, they make their contribution so that we can have one single position on how we're going to move even further forward sustainably.
Excellent. I have a message here. Since they've started coming through. Good afternoon, Sisi Ogewan. Yeah, I tried. Before now, I was actually thinking the scheme was one of the government's propaganda means to launder its image before the public. But my thoughts changed when one of my cousins that was on the verge of breaking down when his wife was in serious crisis, remembered he reluctantly at a time enrolled on the scheme. This must be the Lashma. And ran to General Hospital Okeafa. That was his saving grace, although I enjoy private job scheme HMO. The merchant man, thank you for that. You see, I'm going to give you a challenge.
Yes.
I've been wanting the governor on this show. We Danfo conversationers. We want the governor Sanwo-Olu. Ireti is your sister now. Sir. Excellency, sir. Let us excellent it together. I have a Lagosha, no more Ekuruduaga. That is who I am. We want the governor on this show. I'm going to give you that challenge.
Hello, bye, baby.
Eba, baby. Eba, baby. How do they say Lagos? Twale. I say twale. As we posh people would say, twale. As our boys match it so. No, but yes, it's been an absolute pleasure. Really.
Thank you for having me.
I've enjoyed my conversation with you.
Likewise.
You've enlightened us. You've educated us. You've lifted us as Lagosians to another level because now we know what more is available to us, and hopefully I will be at your summit.
Thank you, and we look forward to having you. Okay. Thank you, Lagos. Right. Have a lovely afternoon.
You have a wonderful weekend. Thank you. All the best.
Thank you.
Call us on time.
Because we bring it right on time.
Anybody that wants to remove something to fit about build and repair our barrel.
You don't have to be an ordinary man or a governor to be whipped into line.
There is no justification for madness. It is madness for a reason.
Full service all here.
Be the real that recognizes real.
It's 99.3 Nigeria Info, your number one station for talk.
This is The Voice Note on 99.3 Nigeria Info. Let's talk.
It was why we sang and danced in the night, why we lit fires that burned through the night, why we chose a flag colored in freedom, for now we would be kings in our kingdom. But our first head of state was Igbo, and the next, though a soldier.
Here on Info, they call us on time.
Because we bring it right on time.
Anybody that wants to remove something to fit about build and repair our barrel.
You don't have to be an ordinary man or a governor to be whipped into line.
There is no justification for madness. It is madness for a reason.
Full service all here.
Be the real that recognizes real.
It's 99.3 Nigeria Info, your number one station for talk.
Welcome back to Danfo Conversations. If you have been listening from the moment we started, it's been an enlightening, it's been an engaging, it's been an uplifting conversation about our Lagos. Yes, our Lagos. And, you know, even though we're having network issues, so calls are not coming through, but Dr. Finney was absolutely fantastic. She was clear, she was concise, she was articulate, she explained it. You know, you guys know how I hate people when you know, people, representatives, even my media colleagues try to make things complicated, where they try to speak over people's heads and stuff like that. But Dr. Finney didn't do that. What she did was she broke it down. She broke it down well enough for all of us to actually understand. So next Thursday, they're going to be having a summit at Eka Hotel. I hope you're going to be able to go, because I'm going to try and be there. Well, I intend to be there, actually, let's be honest, because I want them to partner with Purple Women Foundation. Let's see what's going to happen. So if you've got a foundation like Kazai Women's Group, you're registered properly, you're properly organized, why not make your way there? Right, if you can try to get hold of me, is 0201-277-0993 if you're male. Female line is 0201-465-7190. WhatsApp is 0809-597-5805. Like I said, it's taken a while for this WhatsApp to come through. Like I received a WhatsApp. I'm putting my glasses on. I received a WhatsApp from the merchant man. So you might want to try, but it took a while. It really did take a while. I don't know what's going on with the network. So, since you're not calling, since I have the mic to myself, since I can monopolize the mic, let me tell you something. As of, and this is how I say it, I keep repeating this, and perhaps I need to repeat it again. On the 3rd of September, which would be Tuesday, it's so, for me, it was so critical. It was so groundbreaking that I actually remembered, I had an idea of the time when it happened. Between 11 and 12, our lives changed. Yes, every single one of us. Whether you're rich, whether you're poor, our life changed. It changed in a way, totally without warning, randomly it changed. Nobody warned us. Nobody, cajoled us. It was just a bang in your face. Boof. What am I talking about? On Tuesday, the 3rd of September, between 11 o'clock and 12 o'clock, the cost of living as a Nigerian in Nigeria went up by 50%. And what's to do? What's to give? What do we do? And I am really, really concerned. I am really concerned. I am concerned about all of us, and I'm also concerned about myself. I've thought about it, and I keep saying it. On Tuesday, the 3rd of September 2024, between 11 o'clock and 12 o'clock, the cost of living as a Nigerian went up by 50%. And now we're on Friday. It's like, okay, it has happened. We've moved on. Maybe. Da. What's going on? What's going on? You see, it's not even the... There was no warning. There was no warning. And I don't care whether it's NNPC who authorized it or it's the ministry. The fact of the matter is, there was no warning. So government basically gave us all a frigging coronary. Yeah, a heart attack. I mean, literally, they shook us to the foundation of our existence. It was a bash, boom, bosh in your face. Uppercut, like Mike Tyson. Left jab, like Marvin Agla. What is that all about? And they're still going back and forth. And yes, I know Dangote opened. I know Dangote refinery opened. I don't want to talk about Dangote refinery because he's not supplying anybody yet. I want to talk up. I am concerned. I want to rant, actually. This is a rant. Yes. I want to rant about the fact that on Tuesday, write these dates down. The 3rd, Zainab is back. You can call back now. She's back and the line's going. Right? So, on Tuesday, the 3rd of September, between 11 and 12 o'clock, as of 11 o'clock, NNPC had raised petrol price to 855 naira, and nobody is answering for it. Let's talk. Oh, is it cut off? Yeah, okay. Apparently the lines are fixed. Try again. Let's talk. Hello?
My own baby.
My dear, how are you?
How are you?
I'm going to give you 1 minute. I'm fine. We're almost closed. You know, the show is almost over.
Let me ask one small question.
Go ahead.
When you said that the hardship has increased to 50%, is it for everybody?
No, it's for everybody now.
Are you sure?
Well, of course it is.
Even those supporters?
It is for everybody.
So they are suffering as well?
Yeah. Mr. Frank, is this Mr. Frank, right?
Yes.
At some point, we need to get over the elections. The election has happened. Like literally, the election has. So let's stop doing all that. The supporters, we are all Nigerians right now. Everybody's suffering.
Last month, some people are still supporting, say no to protest. Some people are still. That is what I want to know. Is there anywhere they will sell the fuel? He said the fuel is 855 naira.
At NNPC it is, yes.
So is there some people that will be getting it like 15 naira or like 20 naira?
Well, nobody's gotten it for 15 or 20 naira for young. Okay, lines are going, Mr. Frank. We gotta go. Take care, my brother. Take care. Hello.
Good afternoon, Cecile.
Good afternoon, Mrs. Oboli. You have a minute. Go ahead, quickly.
It's time we all wake up and smell the coffee.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, the prices of foodstuffs for the average woman, the average man, the woman especially, because we tend to manage whatever we are given by our husbands now. You go to the market, you start asking yourself that what have I bought? That the money that I took to the market is not even enough for what it used to be. I don't know. I believe we're supposed to be carried along when issues like this, affect the Nigerian. We're supposed to be carried along, but no. It just, okay, should we say we have sympathetic politicians?
No, you can say we have unsympathetic politicians. Let's not put Orosabia on. Mrs. Oboli, I gotta go. The lines are crazy. Wrap up.
In the sense that I feel your pain, but they are not sympathetic. They are not stepping into the shoes. That's what I mean. Do you get what I'm saying?
I do, Mrs. Oboli. I do. I need you to close because the lines are going. I only have like 7 minutes left. Hello. Oh dear. Hello. By the way, we didn't mean to cut you off. That was an accident. I promise you I didn't cut you off. Hello?
Good
afternoon.
Good afternoon. What's your name? Where are you calling from? Quickly.
My name is Francis.
1 minute. Turn off your radio. Turn off your radio, please.
I just called to greet.
You just called to greet me?
Yeah, good afternoon.
Okay, good afternoon. Thank you. Have a good weekend.
Hello.
Hello.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Yeah, this is Chinedu calling from Lekki this one.
Go ahead, Chinedu.
Yeah, for me, I just want to support that man that who just called, the second caller who just called now. Is there anybody that's left out from this offer? You should know. Because when the election was going on, like people, they are separate from other Nigerians. We see the truth, you don't want to say the truth. Thank God, we all are in it now. Thank you. I love the program.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. Hello? 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 Yes, good afternoon.
Good afternoon. My name is Sunday.
Okay, go ahead, Sunday. You have 1 minute.
Yeah. You see, there is no need for Nigerians to complain because it seems as if we don't like good things. Let all of us suffer until things will be able to put in place. And that's all. That's it. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Hello? Hello?
Hello, Sisi Oge.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
What's your name and where you calling from? You have a minute.
This is Pastor Ladipo.
Go ahead, Pastor.
You see, Sisi Oge.
Yes, ma'am.
This thing that is touching everybody, if only we can see beyond our individual selfish interests or benefits, we will fight battle once and for all, and we will win this battle. It's painful that when these things were starting, it didn't start in Tinubu's time. It started in Buhari's era. When people wanted to protest, then people wanted to talk. Some people tagged them and gave them label. They called them whalers, called them soul losers, called them all sort of names. That this thing that is coming is going to hit everybody hard. Now, they are seeing even protests as ceasing. That is the new language. It's painful and it's touching everybody now. Whether you're a card-carrying member, you're not a card-carrying member, nobody is exempted. The only people that is not suffering this now are the political elites. May God save this nation.
Amen. Thank you. Hello? Okay. Hello? Hello? Yeah. You need to turn off your radio, please.
Hello, good afternoon. This is UG1.
Good afternoon. You have a minute, merchant man. Go ahead.
Yeah, I just want to put up my reaction on the guest you brought to the studio.
Oh, yes, go ahead.
Hello?
Yes, go ahead.
Yeah, like I said on the test I sent, people should not be skeptical of the scheme. Like I said, that my cousin actually was surprised because when he felt all alternatives were exhausted and there was no hope coming, he remembered that once upon a time he enrolled on that scheme. That was when his friend took him to that hospital I mentioned, and the wife was attended to.
Wow.
She had CS and the baby was brought out.
Wow.
So people should queue in. It's not a propaganda. It's never a fraud.
Thank you very
for
much.
What you are doing. God bless you.
Thank you. I try my best. Thank you. God bless you too. Hello. Hello. Yes. Good afternoon. Turn off your radio, please.
From Ikorodu.
Yes.
Things fall apart. Center cannot be held again.
Go ahead.
It don't read you. We are just talking about our NNPC and talking about fuel. What about our NEPA that is killing us silently? We cannot have fuel. We cannot have NEPA. Our naira is not 2 naira. Look at the 3 things that they are using in punishing us in this country. Are we dying or are we living? The poor cannot breathe anymore. It's your game. My sister, I love you and I love your program. Please help us to talk to the government, especially the NEPA. Let them go to NEPA. NEPA is the next one that is going to have this type of demonstration will reach NEPA. Because the way they are killing people in silence killing is beyond our expectation. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Lord. God bless you too. And that's the end of the show because we can't take any more calls, can I? They're going to throw me off. I need to close and then you won't let me close. Can I take one? Yes, let's take one. Hello?
Hello, Cecilia. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Your name, where you're calling from, and 1 minute exactly.
My name is Jude. I'm calling from Sulere.
Go ahead,
so
Jude.
Okay.
Yes.
What is happening in Nigeria? I just want us to say praise the Lord and raise our hands and pray.
Why?
Because that's what we've been in Nigeria. We pray for everything. So let's pray. Let's continue praying. I pray that this one will even be like times 5 of what is going on, so that by the time we finish with us, the bigger trade, the tribalism, everything will be bridged, so that we can come to round table and solve our problems.
So you want God to come and deal with us? I don't understand that. Okay, well, I love this show. I love this show. I love each and every single one of you. I feel your pain. I feel your sorrow. I feel your frustrations. We are all Nigerians, but I need you to kind of move on from that whole, should be some people were saying, you know what? My mentor, who was an incredibly smart man, once said to me, what if I give you advice and it turns out that I'm wrong? Does that mean that the advice I gave you was wrong in the first place? Not necessarily. Who knows tomorrow? Who knew yesterday? Right? Am I done? I've got to go. 000. I'll be right back at 4 o'clock. I'll be talking with Alice Kiseya on Borderlines. Alice is a Palestinian Christian. Her story will literally have you mouth agape. Thank you. My name is Ireti Bakare-Yusuf. The Danfo is parked now. Scratch. Bye.
Let us dive into the heart of global affairs.
99.3 Nigeria Info. We are more than just radio. Subscribe to our YouTube channel at Nigeria Info FM. Check us out on Facebook at Nigeria Info 99.3. Follow us on Twitter at Nigeria Info FM and on Instagram at Nigeria Info FM Lagos for live updates as it happens. 99.3